Hello. So, I just wanted to show off something a little different. This is a browser-based game, and it's, oh, this is a little loud, hold on. It's this sort of incremental clicker sort of game, but you are a wizard, or at least you start out trying to become a wizard. There's no actual music in the game. I've got a separate playlist open with Kevin MacLeod songs. I found one that's like mystical music by Kevin MacLeod, so we'll see how that goes as we go along. Anyhow, this is not how you start the game. This is end game, in many ways, what I'm showing right now. I've got immense numbers on the side here of various things. I've got loads and loads of tasks I can do, some upgrades I could potentially get if I can just get the pieces for them. I am at that point where I've done hiding max. Let's bring them back up. I've done a lot of stuff. I've gotten a great distance. I have a enormous home with a load of, like, furnishings in it that give me buffs and boons and things like that. I've gone on adventures of various sorts. So, Pongo the Astral Seer is about as far along, not as far along as I possibly could be. There's still more I could do. However, it is more in the sense of, it would take a very long time to do it. That is 10,000 adventures within the Catacrypts. I've done 67. I've gone back and I've done other things, and this game does have the minor issue of not saving your progress in adventures. So basically I'd have to sit down and extremely dedicate myself to that sort of thing in order to finish it. And at this point, I think I'm pretty satisfied with how it's gone. I want to try something new. I want to take a different route. Because this is very light on, like, visual graphics. There is no image of the home, there is no image of your wizard. But it makes up for that in sheer depth and number of paths you can take. I became an Astral Seer. You can see all my titles on the side. I was an Apprentice, a Falconer, a Neophyte, a Harvest Reveler from an adventure, things like that. You don't have to become an Astral Seer. You can become something entirely different. And that is, I think, what I would like to try and do. Okay. So one of the things that I unlocked towards the end of this is something called the Wizard's Hall. The Wizard's Hall lets you make new characters within the same general realm with certain upgrades depending on the hall prestige. So I think I picked up classrooms that makes research rate go a little bit faster. And then the Star Chambers for Star Shards, which is a late game thing. However, right now, I think we're just going to go ahead. We're going to go ahead and begin a new character. So, this is more like what you start with. Now, I'm going to go ahead and show just real quick. It does come with the dark mode, if you prefer that. I might keep the dark mode on for this part, but yeah, it just saves inside of your browser storage. So, we are starting. The default name is always Wizrobe, however, you can change that freely. Now, I think that I want to be, what's a good wizardy name? I want to do a nature run. Okay. It will not let me delete that. So, if I want to be Hortensia, I'm going to have to do it that way. Okay, so with that, my player is set up. I can't go very far. I can only relax a little bit to rest. I have very low life and stamina right now. We are just starting out. However, we do have classrooms, and we do have a star chamber that does not help us right now. Classrooms, however, will. Once we are able to save up a little bit of gold in order to get scrolls to study. Right now, we are a waif living in the hayloft of a stable. We can clean those stables. It's called working from home, and it's stable employment. Now, you can just click this multiple times, and you see the little stamina bar inching down on the right. If you want to save your clicking finger a little bit, you click a thing once, one of these like gray or clear ones, and then you hold down enter, and it just zips down at a rate of about 20 per second, I believe. However, my gold is now full. I can only fit 5 gold in all my pockets. I need a pouch. It costs 5 gold, but it gives me my maximum of 10. Seems a tad pricey for a bag, but it keeps my money safe. At that point, we click Clean Stables and hold down Enter until it is nice and full again. We can buy another pouch. We can buy a scroll. We're pretty close to needing to relax, so I'm going to buy another pouch, and I'm going to clean stables and get more money until I run out of stamina. At that point, you can hit relax up here, you can hit relax down there. Now, usually once you start hitting, once you have relax on, it will relax you all the way up to full stamina. However, you can do things while you are relaxing. It'll just kind of drain your stamina down a little bit. It's a good way of basically utilizing these things while you're resting. You just kind of hold down enter for a little while, and then hold down enter for a little while, and let it re-up halfway, because you'll stop relaxing once it's full. So, let's get another pouch. That is going to be our 3rd pouch upgrade. We can only have 3. You can see pouch 2 of 3. So we've got that now. And we can get a purse. Common way to carry coins. We can get 2 of those. Max gold adds 20. Costs 15. Those pouch makers, those sack makers, are absolute villains. Gonna hit relax. We're gonna get the other purse. And we're going to clean stables and just kind of ride that out through relaxing a little bit here and there. How you are able to relax and clean stables at the same time, I'm not entirely sure. Maybe you're just kind of taking it easy and just doing little chores here and there and getting a wage for it. But we can now carry a maximum of 75 gold with all our pouches and purses. We can now buy scrolls. Those cost 10 gold each. Let's get a few scrolls. Now, you might see that on the side now we've added research. And if you were watching carefully, every time I clicked buy scroll, the research maximum goes up. Only by 1. It gets better in the future. We can hold 10 scrolls at the moment. Okay. And having scrolls has also unlocked a special task we can do. We can study. That's not a click and hold, or a click and hold enter rather, that's not a multi-click, it just goes. Slowly drains stamina, slowly raises research. Now with that, we can buy a satchel for 50 gold, max scrolls 15, an apprenticeship costs us 20 gold and 10 research. However, that means we can start speccing into more wizard stuff. So at this point, we are studying scrolls. Technically, we can kind of bobble between relaxing and studying scrolls. However, right now, our research is full, so it's not worth studying. We'll just relax, we'll clean stables, we need to save up a ton of gold, get ourselves a satchel, and basically fill up as much as we can. I can technically just go to Apprenticeship. I don't need to get the upgrade immediately. It's not lost by going to Apprentice. I just like to have things as full as possible. Let's get that satchel. And let's go back to cleaning some stables. A little bit of this game does involve kind of sitting and waiting for certain bars to fill up. It is an idle game. As such, I'm probably not going to get too far into it and sharing it here, just because it would take a little too long, and I want this to be a reasonable length for a video at the very least, and not too boring. And hopefully not require too many cuts. That being said, let's go ahead and raise that a little bit. So I might do a little cut here, so if the music changes in the next little bit, that is why. And I just want to fill up all the bars possible, all of the maximums possible, before I click Apprentice. And then we will see what that does. So, be right back from your perspective. Alright, and with that, that was barely any time at all. Just a couple more things before we move on. You can kind of see here into some details. Our research does slowly rise at a rate of 0.137 per second. And so basically, even leaving it alone, even not studying, you will very slowly and very incrementally raise not the maximum number, but the number within the maximum, as long as there is availability for that. Same with the scrolls. If you see here, the scrolls are what are giving you 0.0055 of that research rate, and basically the more things you have, the more upgrades you have, the better those numbers will get. The other thing is, these buttons will show you how many times you have clicked them. It shows you what it costs per, basically, click, and what the results are. And these things do improve. These numbers go up the more you click them. However, we're about to lose clean stables because we're about to become an apprentice. We are now an apprentice, which unlocks a few more things. We now have skills. We now have a home, which is no space remaining because we have not clicked on the alcove, a small corner beneath the stairs of your master's domicile. Goodbye, hayloft. That gives us 5 floor space. Now you may notice there's a lot more than 5 things we can put in that floor space, and that is where you have to make some choices. I'm going to just tell you right now, some of the best choices you can make are storage for maximum gold, because you will start coming across things that require more gold as a cost than your maximum currently is. And scroll rack, which is going to give you more scrolls, which is going to give you more space for research. However, I can't buy that. I need 100 research to do that, and I'm right now capped at 45. So basically, that will come eventually. The small chest, however, is generally a good idea, so I'm going to get one of those. And that immediately unlocks an iron chest, which is honestly better. Because if you notice, the small chest takes up 1 floor space, and gives you a maximum, raises your max gold by 75. Not a maximum of 75, but adds 75 to your maximum. The iron chest adds 175 for 2 floor space. 2 small chests in the same space as 1 iron chest gives you a maximum gold cap of 150. So honestly, we want to be going for the iron chest and getting rid of the small chest. Right now, however, we're going to keep going. The cot basically gives you better, rest stamina. You do not need it, technically. It just improves your ability to rest and relax. So now, we have do chores instead of clean stables. We can run errands as a passive thing. Relax, we are full. And study. We are almost capped on research. It's pretty close, so we'll just do that until it hits 45. Okay, let's go ahead and run some errands. We need a lot of gold coins, so I am going to make that go real fast. Also, we have filched pumpkins. Now, I believe with that... Oh yes, we are automatically relaxing now. Very helpful. I believe that filch pumpkins is supposed to be a special Halloween event thing. However, we are well past Halloween at this point, and it's still here. I don't fully know what the updates are like for this. I have been playing it for about a week, give or take a little bit, and getting my entire friend group hooked on it, just incidentally. I know that there is a test site. This is the stable version. There is a test site where you can try some of the newer features and developments and stuff that have not quite been cleared or approved for the full stable site game. Oh, and I didn't say it earlier, but I'll try and go ahead and throw a link to this game down in the description of this video. So we're just gonna fill that up. Good. Okay, let's go back to the home and we're gonna buy that and sell that. Okay. So do chores just improved 2 times by doing all that. We are getting more gold. It also gives virtue. Virtue is basically the virtue and evil is the good versus evil. It's the morality system. It's not played into for very many things. Most of it is just how do I put this? I think there's like one class you can become that requires a virtue of a certain amount. Other than that, though, it's not too important. Let's go ahead and do that. We'll get our gold up, because we need to buy certain more pieces of equipment. Now, I did not go into the other furnishing items. What we need for those, or what we get from those, is you can see, like, for example, Basin has water source furniture. Water source means it is a source of the element water, which allows us to start speccing into aquamancy, for example. Birdcage gives us pets. The potted milkweed gives us plants and plant magic. And to be quite frank, that is what I'm going for on this run. So I'm going to buy one potted milkweed. And that basically gives our +5 max research. And doesn't do too much else right now, but that's okay. We've got 5 more research to fill. And we've got a lot of gold to fill. We can also use 1 skill point to unlock this. Technically, oh wait, technically this doesn't take a skill point. Some of them do. Mage Lore apparently only takes 20 research, so we'll just unlock that. And now we're going to go ahead and start training. Whoops, it just goes automatically. Forgot about that. Now, right now we don't have focus. Focus is a useful thing, and you'll have autofocus up here, so you don't have to, like, click or hold it or anything like that. That will eat mana, which we also don't have yet, in exchange for basically speeding up the experience gain of those kinds of things. So let's go ahead and do chores and chew through our stamina real quick. And yeah, I will catch up with that stuff and be right back again. Okay, I went away for a solid half hour there, stopped recording, and I had to take the dog on a walk. So, I am back. The skills, Mage Lore, is at level 5, and I now have 5 mana. I now have focus, and quite frankly, focus is a clickety-click-click-click. It is much easier and much more available to autofocus. That stays on basically as long as you are playing this game. You can close the browser tab and come back to it later, and you'll have to click autofocus on again, but yeah, you'll be fine otherwise. So, we've got a couple of upgrades available. That one takes 100 research. We are going to need more scrolls. We're going to need more space for scrolls. This is going to be a little difficult. So, right now we can get a wax candle that raises the replenishment of our mana rate to 0.02 per second. So basically mana is going to replenish slowly over time, a little faster during resting, alongside the stamina. However, right now, I think what we want, with everything full, is to do a little pumpkin filching. Just because. So we've unlocked a few other skills and everything in the meantime. We can pick up herbalism. I need to say plant source costs 25 research. Languages costs 10 research. And basically unlocks more things. We definitely want herbalism, because I want to go the planty, druidy sort of route on this one. So, we've got our first pumpkin that unlocked a few skills. Actions, rather, not skills. Smash Pumpkin gives us some pumpkin seeds. It's an instant action, 1 click and it's done. Carve Lantern takes time. It is one of the slow progress bars. However, it gives us pumpkin seeds and a jack-o'-lantern, which can be used for other things. So I think once we've got a few pumpkins, we're going to go ahead and start carving a lantern. Now, you may notice our research is down a little bit. We spent a bit of it on that stuff, so it's going to take a bit to re-up that, though it does do it slowly on its own. I don't know if you've noticed, but the number has ticked up there. We are 1 more pumpkin and we'll be full, and I'm pretty sure this one auto-stops once the pumpkins are full. So if you look at the flavor text on Restless Nights, continue working even while idle, a good apprentice knows there are 30 hours to the day. Basically, it gives us a constant little tiny bit of gold rate, even while we are relaxing. Just at all times, the gold is going to tick up slowly, a little bit at a time. Speaking of gold, we've got 2 units of space left in our little alcove to cram something in. We have unlocked a few other bits and pieces, and so we have to select what we want the most. We have our 1 iron chest. We have our 1 potted milkweed. We can get a magic circle that increases our max research by 10. We need to get to 100, so even 2 of these isn't quite going to do it, unfortunately. So I'm going to have to figure that out in a little bit. For right now, though, I think we really need a workbench because that unlocks other possibilities for us. I've never figured out what the brass candelabra is good for. It gives us max candles, but I've never done anything with candles. Maybe there's a path using luminology, like a light wizard, that can utilize that more. We don't need a cot. We can sleep on the floor. We'll just tuck ourselves underneath the workbench. That'll be fine. Okay. Here's the thing. Right now, most of our stuff is locked behind needing 100 research. We need 100 research for that. We need 100 research for a scroll rack, which would only give us 15 more scrolls, and that would only give us 15 more research anyway, so it might not be worth as much. It's worth more in research than those other things. However, we need 100 even to buy it, so, okay. Filch more pumpkins. We should train those skills. I think those will also unlock a few things. Right now, though, I think I'm gonna go ahead and get a workbench, because that will give us crafting. There we go. Okay, so I've got a whole bunch of stuff to train up. Frankly, we don't need to keep taking pumpkins. We can just kind of, if you look at these little lines up here, that'll bring up everything in your activities waiting or to be queued up. So I'm just gonna clear that one for right now. I'd like to have a lot of pumpkins, but we don't technically need those. What we need to do is focus on some of these things. So let's go ahead and start getting max research 5. That'll be the one. 25 more max research if we get 5 levels of languages. Let's do that. So you see our mana going right down. That is autofocus. Basically, the better focus gets, the more XP you're gonna get per second per tick of mana. Right now it's like 0.24. If you get like higher and higher levels as you go along, and you use this more and more, it will become so overpowered that you unlock a new skill, and you hit train, and it's like bip, 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 done. It's almost instantaneous. However, that is otherwise just gonna take a little while. In the meantime, let's look at the seed sack. 500 gold to buy. Gives you max pumpkin seeds 10. You need to have a word with the Sackmakers Guild. Fun fact, at a much later point in the game, I have it unlocked on Pongo, but I haven't actually done anything with it. There is an adventure, like basically a dungeon you can unlock, in which you raid the Sackmakers Guild. You fight the Sackmakers Guild. Because enough is enough. We gotta make a stand somewhere. But yeah, you might see that because autofocus on, every time we get one little fraction of a tick of mana, it goes away a moment later. It's just kind of feeding into the linguisticizing, and slowly improving this. You can kind of see the number going up with each tick that it goes off. Next improvement, we are 64% of the way along, so the numbers are just gonna get a little bit better. However, until then, I think we're just gonna let this run. This is a pretty decent game for leaving something in the background. You can do something else on the side, and as long as you are able to kind of keep up on everything that you need at a time, and occasionally just go, okay, now it's time to switch to studying, now it's time to switch to learning a new skill, something like that. You can just kind of have this thing going in the background of a different game, of a movie, of doing a project or cleaning a room or whatever it takes. So, I will go ahead and cut this to, I will go ahead and train up everything, and then I will cut out all of the waiting around for all of these levels. So when we come back, again, these should all be full. I'm just gonna go like level 5 languages, 5 herbalism, 5 crafting, and then I'll show off what all that unlocked. So, till then. Okay, back already. So, got everything I had up to level 5 in training, like I said. Got everything maxed out here. Nature Studies is now available. This is the one that costs 1 skill point to unlock. There's others, and there's going to be more and more commonly costs of skill points to unlock certain things. Skill points are going to be a bit of a bottleneck in the future, but for right now we do have one. We can pick that up. But first... Also, it's a higher XP floor on that one. But first, there's a lot more actions available. We have the Herbalist class. Basically, we're still an apprentice, but now we're a specialized apprentice. So we can pick that up for 100 research, 100 gold, and 2 Arcana, which we have 5 of, and we are maxed out on it. So I think that's probably going to be pretty good. Gives us some XP, gives us some skill points. Max Mage Lore, basically that skill will have another level to it. Herbalism gets 3, we get Alchemy up to 2 once we unlock Alchemy. So when we unlock Alchemy, instead of, 0 out of 5 levels, it'll be 0 out of 7 levels. So I think we want to do that. Let's go Herbalist. Clicky. Oh, yep, forgot about that. It brings this up. Gather herbs for your master's potions and alchemy. Alternate wizard classes of this tier will be locked. As an apprentice, you can be an herbalist, a falconer, or a scribe. I want to be an herbalist for this one, I believe. So, yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Confirm. Though I forgot, for the path that I really want to do, I do need animal handling. Which means our 1 space left probably shouldn't be a advancement of the plants or anything like that. It should probably be a bird cage, because we need animal handling. Now, that being said, I can sell stuff and swap stuff around. For example, I could go, instead of the potted milkweed, I could go with a creeping vine instead. Same amount of floor space, so I think I'll sell that one, and I will buy one of those once I've got enough gold. No, I'm looking at the wrong thing. I was on crafting table instead of creeping vine. I want 1 creeping vine so I can keep my plant source. Okay, so our space is as full as it can be right now. 'Tis unfortunate, but 'tis so. Now I need animal handling, and I'm going to need that trained up. You can see Mage Lore now has a higher cap, as does Herbalism. However, first I want to go ahead and try a few things here. So, we can upgrade with a mortar and pestle for grinding herbs and fine ingredients. We can gather herbs. We've got a max of 21. So, we can just kind of do that for a little bit. That gets us a different thing, I believe. We can sell herbs. So, selling herbs, I believe, is a good way of, a decent way of getting gold. 2 gold per herb. Oh, relax so we can get that stamina back. So yeah, we just go ahead and do that, and now we can get gold from the herbalism. Bind Codex. It takes 10 scrolls, 20 research, 3 mana, but it gives us a codex. Codices. Max research, 5. Research rate, 0.07. Mage lore rate, 0.1. So basically, mage lore rate means that our mage lore here is very, very, very slowly going to tick up in experience. It's still going to be worth potentially just training it intentionally, but it might not be entirely necessary. So let's go ahead and pick up a few things here and there, relax, sell some herbs, gather some herbs, just while we're hanging out. And we can craft a spell book in the meantime. Completion time is about 50 seconds. It's going to cost us a little bit of stamina per second, as well as upfront 20 research, 1 codex, 1 arcana, and 5 mana. We can afford it. It is going to give us another increase to the mage lore experience gain and personal experience gain, as well as greater max research, greater research rate, greater arcana rate, but only in very small little tidbit amounts. The numbers are so infinitesimal that, quite frankly, you could probably just go, oh no, I'm not gonna, like, I'm not gonna get anywhere with it, you know, it's not worth it. It is. It's a little passive thing over time so that when you get into doing so many other things all at once, you don't even have to worry about it too much. You can get to it later. Our herb pouch could be pretty good. Gives us max herbs 10. We can get 3 of those. Dreamcatcher gives us max spirit communion. If it gets us a spirit source, so we can get into like spirit communion and stuff like that. We still haven't got 100 research right now for Restless Nights, so we need to study in order to get there. I'll say one thing about this this little game is that while a lot of the fun in a lot of ways is the exploration of it, finding things, trying things, and then just tripping over results. If you're someone who would rather plan things out and know what you're doing, there is a little bit of opacity to it, I'm afraid. There is, if you look up here, there's a wiki, there's a Reddit. I haven't touched the Discord. I don't tend to like just jumping into random Discord servers personally. But the wiki is very bare bones. It's like almost an auto-generated, here's a list, here's lists of things, but no articles, no links between those things per se. So, like, you can see the list of classes, you can see what tiers they are, what requirements they have, but you can't click on the requirements, whoops, and go, ah, yes, and to get this resource up, you have to do these things. It just doesn't work that way. Oh, okay, we're good there. Our gold is full, our herbs are getting full, and our research needs a little bit of help, so we'll do that in a minute. Right, I can buy more scrolls because I spent 10 of them to make that codex. You can also scribe scrolls, which takes research and mana. Basically, it's the free way of doing it. If, there we go. So we just kind of woo that down, and our mana's empty, and it's gonna refill. There we go. Scrolls are full. Let's go ahead and we need to study. Get those scrolls going up. Get that research back up there. In the meantime, I've unlocked those. I will have to get animal handling and training and all that going. Adventures. Adventures are open. Adventures are constant things, kind of like the yellow, orange, well, they're brown in this mode, buttons. So you can't say study scrolls and go into Halomar at the same time. Some of these are dungeons, like you have to fight enemies. Usually it has the crossed sword icons. The training grounds are really just simple little practice things for that. Clashes are more like, I believe, boss battles, I think. And explore is just you go into a place, there's a number of other bars like frustration or befuddlement or things like that that fill, and so you basically have to go in and go out and go in and go out over and over time. However, they will typically give you little bonus things out of them, and you will start to get equipment. Oh, I've got an herb sickle. I will equip that. So that is on my trinket, and that is going to make herb gathering just a little bit easier. Okay, I think we should go ahead and craft this. It's going to help us in the future. So we are binding spells. Once we have spellbook, we should be able to learn and cast spells. I have leveled up. I'm level 1, look at that. We're moving along. Anyhow, I was talking about the resources for this game. I really, really wish that it had a full and proper wiki. It would be so helpful to have some place to go that's not just trying to search through a very small Reddit or join an unknown Discord server, for me personally, where you can just look at something and go, hey, I'm stuck on this. How do I get more skill points to unlock more skills? Because, you know, how do I do that? And there could be a list of things. Here are things that give you more skill points. Here are the ways to unlock those things. Here's the various means of reaching that. And you can maybe then trace your way back to, oh, okay, this thing is available to me. I'd also like a little bit more clarity personally on, you know, what's important to keep and what's important to get rid of in these. Because some things I can kind of math out, like the iron chest is better than 2 small chests if you have the space for it. However, it's, you know, do I want do I get rid of the workbench for a writing desk? Probably. What about a crafting table? Do I need both of them? What are they each better for? You know, you can kind of get the idea from the modifications and everything, on some of them at least. But if there's a case where it's like, oh yeah, no, a writing desk will do in general for, like, just about anything, and a crafting table is just a boost for some niche things, or vice versa, then it's like, it would be nice to know that. It would be nice to be able to plan things just a little bit better. Because right now, I'm just kind of fumbling my way along. Oh good, we can get Restless Nights now. I don't really need it at the moment. I'll wait for a bit because my gold is at max, so it's not going to benefit me over much. Actually, I could just grab this. Wait just a little bit for the research to go up. There we go. And we will get there. Ah, our spellbook is done. That's right. So now we've got various spells that are unlocked, as well as a class Neophyte. The final step on the twisting stairwell of Apprenticeship. Why does Master charge so many fees? 150 gold, 175 research, not quite there, 3 Arcana. Alright, I'm at a max of 157. I'm going to need to learn a few more things before I can actually achieve that. But we will get there. Now, let's see. What shall I do to, I think I'll gather some more herbs. While I am relaxing, I will sell herbs. I will gather herbs. It's more clicking than do chores, but, I don't know, I think it's a fun little back and forth a little bit. Also, it improves things, I think, to do them more often. It might depend on the thing. Okay, let's see. So we should probably take a look at spells real quick. We'll just kind of continue studying for time being. Restless Nights. No, I'll continue studying, pick up Restless Nights, and then continue studying further. Alright. Restless Nights, that also will make our gold slowly tick up. Alright. So I've got animal handling that I really need to train if I want to get witchcraft as a tier 1 after my apprenticeship. So I do need that. I did forget about that. I need like 2 in that, and I need 3 in potions, which I haven't unlocked yet. Oh dear. Okay. So we can learn spells. Usually it comes with a cost, like research and scrolls. That takes a lot of research and scrolls, and that takes a fair amount of research. And costs a pumpkin per cast. More useful when you have more pumpkins, like my max is pretty low. However, Minor Mana basically is a mana recharge, and Magic Missile is a tiny little bit of damage. Now, I can memorize spells, and memorizing spells means that when I go into an adventure, the wizard will automatically cast those. On the other hand, if I kind of hover my mouse over this, and I hit shift and a number, I like to put that on 0, I now have Minor Mana on this. I can just hit 0 on my keyboard now, and it's a hotkey. It will give me the minor mana recharge, which is not a lot, but every little bit helps, right? So, we are going to, I think, let's scribe a scroll. And let's charge up the mana, and our running buffs are up here. Running buffs and detriments. Okay, we need more research in order to effectively get scrolls going. Alright, so with that, I will just kind of continue on my merry way. And come back after I've got everything here as much as I can pretty much unlocked. That's a bit of a lost cause for right now. And yeah, I'll see what I can do for grabbing hold of potion craft and training all of that up. And then I shall return in just a bit. Right now I am researching beasts. Got a bestiary unlocked. I still don't have the one more arcana needed, and it is a slow drip. Like that is the smallest fraction of a second. How many minutes or hours is it to get a thing from that? I would need to actually pull out a calculator and do math. What the heck, let's pull out a calculator and do math. Nope. So, it's, how many zeros is that? 0.0002, okay, per second. 0.0002. So, 60 seconds in a minute. Okay, in a minute we have that much of a point. How many in an hour? Yeah, it's gonna be a while. It's gonna be minimum 1 hour, probably closer to 2 before you get a single full point of Arcana with that very slow feed. So yeah, it is very much a run it in the background kind of game, as far as that goes. So it's gonna be a while before I can unlike Neophyte, but, unlike, I think I said unlike instead of unlock. But there's that. Otherwise, the bestiary is going to give me a new tab where I can basically have a list of beasts that I encounter during adventures. And I want to do an adventure. I just want to finish this up first, so we have it on the side so I can show it off right away. In the meantime, I've got all of my skills up as full as they can be. My animal handling is gonna get raised by this. There we go. And it gave me a drip feed of experience beyond my cap, so it won't be too long before I can get that leveled up. The Dreamcatcher's a spirit source, and it basically gives me... There we go. Basically gives me access to Spirit Communion, which is an entire other branch of magic. I'm not gonna mess with that really right now. I'm not terribly bothered by it. Mostly, that is about it, so... yeah, let's just go ahead and let's try a couple things out. I went ahead and put Pumpkin Bomb on my hotbar, which is what's down there. For spells, I've got Magic Missile, Prismatic Spray, and Poison Nettle memorized. Wild Growth is memorized on here, but it's mostly for getting herbs faster. And I'm all full on those, so I'm okay there. Poison Ward is for resisting poison, which I don't know how often it comes up. It's a little bit hard to do these adventures with things like, hey, you can resist this with this spell or that with the other spell, because it's not always obvious necessarily what is being done to you. You are very much guessing. It could use a little bit more like iconography or something with enemies and things like that, just so you know what you're getting into. However, right now, we've got a whole bunch of options, and I don't know what to go for first, really. I suppose there is the training grounds. So this is basically the setup of a combat adventure. You've got you over here, you've got your enemy here, and every so often, you will have a spell automatically go off from the memorized list, and, you know, it will take up the resources of, like, a bit of mana or something like that. Speaking of which, I'm gonna put on my mana regen. And if you really, really want to, you can have those same spells loaded down here, and you can just hotkey, boom. and hit something. Okay, we got our first wooden dagger, which is a cheap little wooden dagger, does 2 to 3 damage on like a slash. It's an auto attack thing. You can't actually hit with it intentionally. Wooden homing dart. Oh geez, hit bonus is 31, estimated damage 2. It's almost bloody guaranteed to hit, I think. I don't know what those actual things are, but we're gonna equip that. We'll go ahead and sell that, because I think we might be able to equip it. Let me go find out. So you've got right hand. Nope. Right and left hand don't seem to matter, to be quite honest. Because even though you've got right and left for the main weapon equip, you can only ever equip one weapon. You can't have dual wielding in this game, at least not that I have seen or come across. So basically ignore that. We're going to sell that, just little tiny bit of extra gold. We are moving along. The wooden hammer has a -9 hit bonus. I don't think I need that. This is a waste slot for armor. It's like 1 piece of armor, so we're going to equip it. The training grounds will give you at least starting equipment. For what I found, the equipment does not scale particularly well as you adventure further and further. You do need to unlock enchanting, and you do need to enchant the hell out of everything possible. And even then, it can get really rough. That later adventure that I pointed out on Pongo's thing, where it's like, hey, you gotta get through 10,000 of these encounters. Thank you, no. These take long enough as it is. Now, this does go a lot faster if I have spells down here, if I just sit and mash spells and just deal with it that way. However, that also very much eats up my my mana sources, elemental or otherwise. And so it's a bit of a give and take. But yeah, I am not necessarily tactical about it in a lot of ways. On the Pongo save, I just kind of put a hotbar full of like varied elemental spells because I'd unlocked so many of them. And I just had like, here's my earth one, here's my water one, here's my fire and air and my general magic, and I just sat there with my fingers on those keys on the keyboard just going constantly. It helped me chew my way through some various dungeons, to be quite honest. But it's not something that I would want to do for a 10,000 encounter long one. Now, the trouble is, like, there's no risk with the dummies. Like, my health is not going down at all. If you get basically destroyed out of a combat adventure too many times, it will not automatically put you in. Like, if you get tired, if your stamina or your life or whatever runs out during these, you will automatically go to resting, and then you'll automatically go back, typically. I have noticed that if you get, like, kicked too often, then you don't automatically go back. You just kind of stay out. So yeah, I had to, like, babysit my wizard with a healing spell on number 1 hotbar key and various destructive ones on the others, and deliberately smack my way through it. Oh, I could do another Codex. Hold on. I don't have the mana for it. So, we'll do that after this finishes. That's about 18 out of 20. I destroy this dummy, and then I destroy the next dummy, and I'll be free. Now, the bestiary already has different kinds of dummies. We don't know how much HP these have on here. I can't buy them. I don't know why. It's considered quote-unquote a monster. However, I'm pretty sure you can take things from the bestiary, like, that you can buy with you. I don't know why the buy button exists on things that you can't. You know? Oh, we gotta beat up the instructors. The instructor now is, fighting us. So this is the one I should probably use pumpkin bombs on. I think he dodged it. He dodged it. Yep. Okay. I've got 3 more pumpkins. Freaking dodged it. And he dodged it. So, the pumpkin bomb is not working. I do not have a healing spell. I can only hope that I whittle him down. Now, on the other side, if I do get beat up and kicked out before I can finish it, and then I come back, he will not regain health. He will be at, like, 19 out of 50, basically. So, this does have basically a save state, where you can go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. You don't lose anything by getting booped out. You can try again from the same place where you left off. How's the instructor parrying the homing dart? That thing had a plus 31 to hit. Anyway. It's got little tips like, you know, memorizing a good combination of buffs and attack spells, having a spell memorized and a weapon in hand, and all that, and it's like, yeah, okay, I know. I'm probably gonna get kicked with low health. Yep. Did not quite finish it, but that's okay. Those refill really fast, and we should be right back in. If we're not, I can hit enter, and we'll be good to go. See, yep, 3 points out of 50. So we should be able to finish this real quick. Oh, 0.3. Every little bit helps. Alright, with that, that is completed. We can run it again if we want to, if there's some sort of benefit to it. Or we can just go uncheck complete, and it will not show on this list until I hit complete again. But for right now, I think I want to grab a few pumpkins real quick. I need to level up animal handling, and hope, for goodness sake, give me an point of Arcana. I very much wanted to hit Neophyte, at least in this, just to show what all it unlocks, because that's the final step of an apprenticeship. It's not quite graduating from the apprenticeship. That's some different stuff. There's other things going on with that. But they're fun other things. So I should probably show a... Let's see, let's do... I'm filching my last pumpkin anyway, it's fine. We should probably do a quick little... Gives me... 0.1 Arcana per... I don't know if it's per run or per encounter. I think it might be per run. Well, you know what? Let's do it. I need Arcana. So, the village field will basically... These explorations give you little, like, flavor things you come across, and various bars that filled up. That went very, very, very quickly. And those bars are invisibly being depleted so that we can go back in. So it doesn't matter if your stamina's full. If you've been booped out by full unease, which is about to happen, then we have to wait for basically the invisible yellow bar to go meow back down to 0 before we're allowed to re-enter. Once again, this is one that you just run in the background. It just goes. It takes a little bit of stamina, but mostly it's going to be like the frustration and stuff like that that keeps going up. Yeah, I think the 0.1 is probably for completing the entire thing. 25 encounters of it. Unease is going up. Certain encounters raise certain things. You see unease is staying put, but weariness is going. There are encounters where one bar will go up and then you get to a different encounter, and that bar will go down because of whatever that encounter is. I think it's randomized. I really think it is. And so it is really just luck of the draw what you end up doing and seeing and all that. So we're just gonna, like, back and forth through that a little bit. And, yeah, I will cut to when it finally completes. And you will have a much shorter time waiting for this than I will. So, see you in just a second. Okay, here we go. We should be pretty close. It should be just the next encounters. We're waiting for those bars to go right back down. And there we go. So we got our point 1, which was not enough to bump us over whatever we're stuck at. No Neophyte yet. But we did unlock Truffle Wood's Edge, which is a combat dungeon, as opposed to the Musty Library, which is just that gives us a point of Arcana. Point 1. Not a point, but a point 1 of Arcana. And heckin' 10 of those. Few hundred of the passive ones. Arcana is a... How do I put this? It is a major bottleneck in the early game. In late game, you hardly ever need it, and you have a ton of it, like, from everything. So it's much easier to get, much easier to keep. And yet, here we are. I just want to borrow a couple points from my other wizard. Is that too much to ask, really? Is it too much? Probably. I probably should have grabbed the upgrade in Wizard Hall Arcana Collectors. Unfortunately, my Hall Prestige is right now 8. And yeah, good to know I can awaken and go back to my other wizard. Or I can delete them if for some reason I don't want them in the lineup. So yeah. Other things just on the way of grabbing things, upgrading things. I did get an Old Nag, which increases my distance by 30. I think my distance right now is 45. Distance is important for adventures. Certain things are further away than others. Now, I don't think that it's anything for any of these. These are all close by. But eventually, when you get a new adventure unlocked, it'll say something like, distance 50. And if my distance available is 45, but it's 50 away, basically I cannot get there. So it's another thing, another little aspect that you need to keep leveling up if you want to continue on a thing. On that, you can very much lean into the adventure aspect, especially the battle portion. There are, like, house upgrades, there are skill levels, trees, whatever you want to call it, that support you becoming a battle wizard. That is a path that you absolutely can take, where you just specialize into going out, doing adventures, destroying things, and bringing back loot. That is not what I'm going for with this particular wizard, but it's a viable path. And I think that's fun. Yes, Lilith's Spring. Give me all the Arcana I can possibly get, really. I am starving for it. What else gives any amount? That gives gemstones, that's pretty good. Halamar gives cobwebs, which are useful in their own way. There are some, like, pumpkin housing things that don't take up space, but they're like, hey, here's your pumpkin garden, that gives you passive herbs and pumpkins, like, all the time. Here's your lighted porch. Here's your enchanted jack-o'-lanterns that protect you from necrotic energy and stuff like that. There is an entire line of explorations and dungeons and stuff that are the pumpkin-themed stuff. My befuddlement is going to stop me. But yeah, it's a whole thing. Again, I have absolutely no idea if at any point the jack-o'-lanterns and pumpkins are going to be replaced with a different seasonal setup of things, or if another one's going to be added in connection, in addition to them. Or if it's just going to be pumpkins all the way, pumpkins forever. Don't know. I have no idea what the update schedule is like for this. I haven't been playing it for that long. Oh, I got some gemstones. Look at that. I can have 3 total, and I've got 3, I can have 5 total, and I just got 3. I can sell them if I want to, but my gold is full right now, and I don't have anything to I have something to spend gold on. I do not have enough gold. Velvet bag. Max magic gems, max gemstones 5. Who prices these bags? It's 300 gold. Yeah, my max is 250. I don't have any more floor space for a chest. That's gonna have to wait a very long time before I can get it. God damn it, I'm full of gemstones, so if I get any more hidden caches or secret chests or anything like that, and they have gemstones, they're just gonna go to waste. I can't have them. Yeah, it lets me sell it, but I don't benefit from the gold. I can't have overflow or anything like that, unfortunately. So right now it's just gonna sit there and yeah, just hope for the best. Oh, what have I got in the bestiary now? I haven't fought anything else, so it's still just the dummies. So I think that's pretty much it. Magic Tending is something that revives beast minions from the minions tab, which I have never actually gotten. I don't think the bestiary counts as the minions tab. I have never bought a beast from the bestiary. So I haven't tried the minions gameplay for this. I went pretty straightforward with my first wizard. Well, not straightforward. I just experimented. I just played. I just went, I like the sound of this, I like the sound of that. I ended up insanely high in things like astronomy, in things like scrying, and planes and magic lore and wizard lore and stuff like that. I went very pure magic, very elemental magic. However, I have seen the lists of classes and stuff. This one, I want to do nature. I know that there are options for if you want to be a mechanical wizard, if you want to be basically an artificer. There's option stuff for if you want to go the dark wizard route. You can do necromancy and demonology and summoning, and you can go like full dark forces. I'm going to do murders, and I'm going to do vile experiments, and I'm just going to be the wickedest wizard that ever there was. Absolutely viable. Okay, skill unlocked, concentration, spell unlocked, protection of nature, spell unlocked, vine whip, cool. I got herbs that my bag is full of. Okay, cool. Cool. I think concentration's pretty good. Max stress, so you can deal with more on those adventures. And world lore rate, which I do not currently have unlocked. See, there we go. See, my focus is so much better. That just chewed through the first 2 levels of a new skill. However, after that, it is once again slow going. I probably should have put up my minor mana while I had the mana to spend. Right now, I do not. I cannot, because it keeps getting chomped up immediately by focus. I could turn off autofocus and just put it up. It would be fine. I could do that real quick. Just give me half a moment. Just enough. There we go. Minor mana, now we can autofocus. Okay. It'll go a little bit faster this way. So concentration is happening. Focus is improved. We've got Ayo. I don't know. Oh, we got an arcane gem. Cool. Gems come in different elemental flavors, different flavors of magic. And if you have access to crafting of the right kind and right level and so on and so forth, and you have access to a particular spell source, like, for example, nature, there will come a point where you can deliberately imbue gems with something that you have, such as nature. Or, in this case, arcane would be your regular mana pool. We can do Neophyte. Our Arcana is up. I wonder if it was concentration that... No, it wasn't. It was just over time. Composure also helps stress rate. We are okay with that. I'll just finish that. We'll just train animal handling up just a little bit more. And then turn off autofocus enough to get minor mana going, and then turn it back on. Okay. Zoom that back up. And then let's go ahead and take our final step. As far as I know, there aren't any alternates for Neophyte. I don't think. I'm pretty sure that this is just a, like, finale to being an apprentice. I think. Actually, I'm gonna double check that real quick. Because if I'm wrong, and if in fact witchcraft is this particular class tier, then I'm gonna want to know that. So it's time to look at the wiki. It's time to see what this thing is, and it is really not much. In this case, I'm gonna look at classes, And I am going to scroll down this, like, basic auto-generated chart until I see Neophyte, if I see Neophyte. I do not see Neophyte, and I am already in Tier 2 over here. So, Neophyte is definitely not something that... It's either not been added to this, which is fair enough, it's 1 year ago, and I don't know when the stable game was last updated. But yeah. Yeah. I think that Neophyte is simply the necessary thing that then goes, okay, now you can unlock this, like next tier 0 or whatever. Next you can, Neophyte greater than 1. So Neophyte is mentioned, but again, this wiki is unfinished. It's barely even anything. If I click on Neophyte here. Oh, this one has something. Fine. Promotion. Neophyte. Next step. Why does Master charge so many fees? Yeah, nice of you to go against the point I was making. We get a skill point, get some modifiers, stuff like that. So... Neophyte less than 0, and Virtue greater than 200. That's the Virtue one, Blue Adept. Yeah, Tier 0 is... Tier 0 is, I think just the Stepping Stone one, because I first started writing at Tier 1 for stuff that I needed. So, I don't think there's a lot here that I necessarily need. I would probably just end up doing Adept to level up if I take the Neophyte thing. But that's fine. That just gets me the Solitary Magic offer services, and I go right along to the Tier 1 stuff after that, I believe. Adept is basically, I think, your graduation. I believe that my last one I might have done Blue Adept because I ignored Neophyte for a while because Arcana took so long to get that everything else just went way, way up. However, I don't think I need it for a lot of stuff. Mystic Savant isn't probably going to work because I've been studying, I suspect. However, leaving that aside. Doop. Let's go ahead and take Neophyte. Confirm. And we get a little bit of a prism for light rate and max research. Nice, okay. Now, Neophyte opens up a few other options. Let's go ahead and I'll train up in mage lore a bit. Magic beasts, perhaps. Perhaps should be next. While I show what Neophyte gives. It gives us 2 upgrades, as well as a bunch of furniture and a new home in the attic bedroom. Which, you know what? Noting your progress, your master begrudgingly offers you some space in the attic. Don't let it go to your head. So it locks alcove, but gives me 5 more maximum floor space. Takes 100 research, which we are very, very steadily marching towards. We'll be there in just a moment. Let me turn off autofocus so that I can get my minor mana going. Turn it back on, there we go. Okay, and yeah, we can now go to the attic bedroom. There we go, we got 10 more space to work with and fill with our things. However, before that, I need to show you. I now have 2 upgrades that are options. I have End Apprenticeship. Purchase freedom from your apprenticeship. You will become an independent practitioner of magic. Results in Adept. You need 225 research. I can do that. 5 Arcana. It's gonna take a while. And 200 gold. Easily, I can do that. Or, if you want a very particular flavor of ending of the apprenticeship and ascension to a independent study of magic, Slay Master. Murder your master in their sleep. Save heaps of money with the power of evil. Results. Adept. Vile. 1 body, which is a resource in this game, and 10 experience points. It only costs you the research and the Arcana, not the gold. So depending on what kind of game you would like to play, that is an option. So, that's, I think, pretty much it for what I wanted to really show in Wizard Game. There is so much more to do in this. Also, I'm never sure what to call it. Like, the tab is Theory of Magic, there's Arcanum, in the address, there's, like, the Reddit refers to it as, like, r/, like, Wizrobe or something like that, after the player's default name. I just keep calling it Wizard Game, because that's what it is to me. It is a game in which you are a wizard. And, you know, it's surprisingly addictive and fun. For all that it is text on a screen, buttons to press, and occasionally waiting for numbers to fill up. But, you know, it's simple and it works. And if any of you end up getting hooked on it, sorry, good luck, have fun, and I don't know, if you get far enough along, go ahead and tell me about your wizard. What do you call them? What adventures did they go on, do you think? What is their focus of study? How far along have you gotten? Just, enjoy yourself and, you know, play responsibly, maybe not while you're supposed to be working or something. That being said, again, background game. It's very easy to do. So, with that conflicting bit of advice, yeah, have a good one. Until next time.